Good morning and welcome. This is our Friends Wheeling Tour for Saturday, a very cold Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And we are at 4501 Oak Street in Wheeling, which is the former St. Ladislaus Catholic Church. So first I'll do a little bit of history and then we can walk around. You can see most of it in here just by where you're sitting. Behind the camera is Joanne Sullivan, and then I will take it over in a little bit as we walk around and look at other parts of the church, including the stained glass windows. Some of them have fascinating histories just in and of themselves. This church is currently for sale. The asking price is $125,000, and Terry Cunningham with First Choice Realtors would be the person to contact if you're interested, and she's the one who made the arrangements for us to see the church, but she has the flu this morning, and so we don't want her with us. If you are not a member of Friends of Wheeling and would like to join us, this is the handy-dandy QR code. We're getting up into the modern era with technology, and so this is an easy way to join us and support our efforts. All right, so here we go. The necessity of a Polish Catholic church in the Ohio Valley became evident when many Polish immigrants settled here between 1890 and 1900 to work in the thriving steel industry. Many of these immigrants were from the partitioned Poland, then known as Austrian Poland or Galicia, and Russian Poland. It was those immigrants who felt the need of a priest who could understand and speak their language. Around 1900, Father Ladislaus Miskiewicz, and excuse me when I try to pronounce some of these Polish names, pastor of St. Adalbert's Church in Pittsburgh, came to Wheeling for a brief period and learned of their needs. Father Miskiewicz advised the people to get into action by organizing themselves into church societies. Following his suggestion, about 30 members formed a men's society known as St. Ladislaus. Soon after this organization came into being, a Father Lipinski of Cincinnati organized a women's society which became known as St. Hedwig's Society. These two organizations went about collecting funds to purchase a site for the church, and Bishop P.J. Donahue, Bishop of Wheeling at the time, promised to assist. In November 1901, Father Emil Musial, a young student from Saints Cyril and Methodius Polish Seminary in Detroit, was ordained for the Wheeling Diocese. Given the task of organizing a Polish parish and building a Catholic church in South Wheeling, Father Musial, and I will quote from a church document, showed the intensity of his faith and his national pride. His zeal and determination were great. And in the spring of 1902, ground was broken for a new church. And you will see outside, that is what the cornerstone says, 1902. In June of the same year, the cornerstone was laid. Not quite a year later, on February 22nd, 1903, St. Ladislaus Church was dedicated. At that time, the first and only Polish church in the Diocese of Wheeling. The cost of the new pressed brick and gray stone church was about $20,000. Remember, this is back in 1902. The interior was handsomely arranged with a large main altar and two side altars. Of course, the interior has changed a bit since then. The original carved oak pews cost about $1,500, and as you'll hear, they were later replaced. The parish began to grow rapidly, and very soon the need of a school was felt. At first, a one-room school was opened in the basement of the church. Various lay leaders staffed the small school, with Father Musial himself helping with the teaching. Later, 4 Felician sisters from the Detroit, Michigan province staffed the school. Because of the growth of the number of pupils from year to year, a nearby 3-story building was remodeled into 8 classrooms and an auditorium. The enrollment at the time was about 430 pupils and was taught by 8 Felician sisters. The multi-purpose school auditorium was referred to locally as Polish Hall. In the 1920s, commercial movies were shown there. Wedding receptions, communion breakfasts, political rallies, and countless other social events were also held in the hall. with formal and semi-formal dances sponsored by the parish organizations. This was the era of the big band craze, and the highlight of the year was the pre-Lenten Punchki Ball. This annual two-day affair was a big social event of the season for more than 2 decades. In the late 1940s, Assistant Pastor Father Stanley Salwertz was responsible for the building of the grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes in the church's courtyard as a memorial to honor those who served in the World War II armed forces, and we'll see that outside. The grotto was designed and built entirely by the men of the parish and is currently owned by the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston. As illness and age rendered Father Musial unable to function fully in his pastoral position, Father Thaddeus Ted Grundalski was appointed as an assistant on March 8, 1952. He focused on church property repairs and the beautification of the grounds. He's credited with the design of a nativity display at the outdoor grotto, along with lighted water fountain in front of the grotto. On May 28, 1961, Father Musial died. During the same time period, the church suffered due to the exodus of industry from the Ohio Valley and the resulting loss of population in the parish. The school, because of lack of teaching sisters, was forced to hire lay teachers, and this became an added financial burden. In June of 1972, Hurricane Agnes struck the Wheeling area, flooding the parish hall. Fortunately, federal funds helped with repairs, and remodeling the church hall and air conditioning was also installed in the church and the social room. Father Grundalski led the church through the changes implemented by the decrees of Vatican II. He also revived the annual street fair, a successful fundraising event that helped to keep the church and school property in good repair. In early 1973, Father Grundalski was transferred to the Sacred Heart of Mary Parish in Weirton, and Father Joseph Jamula became the third pastor of the parish. During his tenure, children from all 5 South and Center Wheeling parishes, that's St. Alphonsus, St. Ladislaus, Immaculate Conception, Our Lady of Lebanon, and Our Lady of Perpetual Help, began attending the Wheeling Catholic Consolidated School instead of local parish schools. Beginning in January 1977, various plans were put into effect for the community celebration of the Diamond Jubilee of St. Ladislaus Parish. The renovation of the church interior was the focal point of this undertaking and included interior and exterior painting, sanctuary remodeling and lighting, wood paneling, new pews, wall-to-wall carpeting, a new organ, and sculptured glass doors at the main entrance. In the fall of 2000, the church was sold to the Abundant Life Baptist Church. That group had a new roof installed in 2018, and the church is now again for sale. The stained glass windows here are remarkable, and when I first visited as a pre-tour, I was fascinated. They're not very typical of, in my opinion, of stained glass windows here in Wheeling, but I decided to look up who the people are who are featured. They're not local people. Instead, they are various saints and other luminaries that are important to the Polish community primarily. And if Joanne will let me take the camera, I will go from window to window and tell you a little bit about each of these people. So we are here. Here's the front of the church. On the left side, as you would walk in, is where I'll start. And I found references to 2 different St. Ladislaus people, and I think this one refers to the older one, who was St. Ladislaus of Skrepinal. And forgive me again if I mispronounce that name. This window represents a bishop and martyr and Poland's primary patron saint. He was known for challenging King Boleslaw II and being murdered and martyred by him in 1079. He's celebrated for justice and courage. Next to him is Mother Mary Angela Truskowska. That's a good one. A Polish nun and founder of the Felician Sisters. She established ministries for the poor and orphans in Poland. with the order expanding to the U.S. to serve Polish immigrants. And as you heard before, it was the Felician nuns who came to teach here at St. Ladislaus. Next is St. Andrew Bobola. He was a Polish Jesuit missionary, renowned as the Apostle of Lithuania. He was known for his fervent preaching, dedication to the sick, and brutal martyrdom, becoming a powerful symbol of Catholic faith, patron of Poland, and venerated for his incorrupt body and intercession in difficult times.
Let me hold it for you here.
Oh, thank you. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that enough?
Yeah, but you're,
Yep.
yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. This is Father Maximilian Kolbe, K-O-L-B-E. He's known as the patron saint of amateur radio operators, drug addicts, political prisoners, families, journalists, and prisoners. During World War II, he was sent to the German concentration camp Auschwitz, where he ministered to other prisoners. In July 1941, a prisoner successfully escaped from Auschwitz. In reprisal, 10 men were randomly picked to be starved to death in an underground bunker. One Polish Catholic man who was picked out cried out, "My wife, my children." At that moment, Kolbe volunteered to take his place. After the group had been starved and deprived of water for 2 weeks, only Kolbe and 3 others remained alive. Impatient to empty the bunker, the guards gave the 4 remaining prisoners lethal injections of carbolic acid. Now we have Our Lady of Czestochowa, also known as the Black Madonna. She's a revered icon of the Virgin Mary holding the child Jesus, and the original is enshrined at the Jasna Gora Monastery in Czestochowa, Poland. The original icon is famous for its dark complexion, a result of candle smoke, and a miraculous history, making it a major pilgrimage site and symbol of the Polish faith. The original is famous for scars on Mary's face, and you can see that a replica of that here, on her face and neck from sword slashes during invasions. These scars reportedly reappear even after repairs have been made. Now we go across to the other side.
Wave, everybody. There we go.
First one here is Sister Frances Xavier Cabrini, or Mother Cabrini. She was an Italian-American nun and the first U.S. citizen canonized as a saint. She's the patron saint of immigrants. Next to her is Sister Elizabeth Ann Seton, the first American-born saint, a devout widow, educator, and founder of the Sisters of Charity. She established the first Catholic parochial school system in the United States and pioneered Catholic education and charitable work in America, making her a patron saint of Catholic schools, widows, and the poor. And again, I'll point out the window above these 2 women. And you'll see there the Statue of Liberty with an arriving boat. And there's also an image of a school and a hospital. So they put a lot of thought into
The symbolism, yeah.
the question is, are they original? And yes, they're in gorgeous shape. As far as I know, they are original. Here we have St. John Newman, a Bohemian American, one of the first American saints. He's known for tirelessly building Catholic schools and churches for German immigrants. Next is North American martyrs. They were 6 priests and 2 laymen from the Jesuit order who, during the 17th century, set out on heroic mission to teach the natives of North America about Jesus Christ. They stood with bravery in the face of suffering, and they were viciously tortured and killed. I guess you have to die a bad way to become a saint.
Martyrdom is one of the quickest ways, but
Yeah. Saint Anne de Beaupré is called the mother of the Virgin Mary and grandmother of Jesus. She's known as the patron saint of Canada and of grandparents. For those of us who are old enough to have grandkids, there's our patron saint.
Huh.
And last is Our Lady of Guadalupe, who is known as the Virgin of Guadalupe, a Catholic title for the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Right.
And thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Around the church, you'll also see other arched windows with other significance, some of which looks maybe like factories. This is why they came here. And some windows don't have saints in them. Now I am going to take the camera now and go up to the balcony, and then I'll go down into the parish hall downstairs, and then I'll go outside so that our viewers online can see the grotto that's next door. But the rest of you, feel free to wander around. There is office space behind the altar up here. Take a look at the beautiful proscenium arch above the altar area, and just kind of nose around, and I will be back. So I'm going back out into where the main entrance is. We actually are on the upper level already, and there is a chairlift to a portion of the stairs. And I'll go up one more flight. And here's a balcony, and it looks like this is just used primarily for storage. And it overlooks the sanctuary below. And we'll go back down the parallel stairs. And again, even these windows that aren't quite as grand are in excellent condition. We'll go back downstairs to the main entrance. And we'll briefly go outside. It's very cold. It's about in the single digits today, but the sun is shining. We're here at the exterior of the church. And here is the cornerstone with the date 1902. And immense outdoor lights. This is probably from the days of the street fairs that this church was well known for. Church entrance. Here's contact information if you would like to start your own church.